Yeah, no, no problem. We can wait. We are also just configuring our settings. So can you tell me how do we start our project? Like we have opened the HTML and CSS. What should we do next in order to run this website? What should we press?
The explanations link?
No, no, it's already created. We have created this website up until the the hero section. We now want to continue from that point onward. So I want to see this website like what I have.
Like go live.
Yeah, exactly. Go live. Okay, so this is what we've created yesterday, and you guys also created this, and it was good, very good. But today's today's homework would be to create all of the site. Okay, we'll create as long as we have time. I guess we have an hour, half an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then 30 minutes more. So we'll create whatever we can create in that time, and you have to complete this website. Okay, so let me open the actual site as well. Hmm. So first we have to create this one. What is this?
A button?
Yeah, I give good a button. So after the hero section, make sure it's after the hero section. And now I'm going to tell you something that's really important as a developer. So there's something in development that's called comments. So do you have any idea what comments are? Like what in general comments refer to?
Like
Yeah, the general meaning of
it
comments.
tells you what to do.
Exactly. It basically, no, it doesn't tell you what to do. It's basically, kind of like a compliment. Yeah, for example, if you were to comment on someone's post, we're gonna just comment whatever we feel about it. Okay. So similarly, in development, in programming, in coding, we have something similar to that comments, where you basically write something for your own reference, so that when you read that code later on, you would know that what that code is basically doing. Okay. So for example, I can write whatever I want here. It's not going to be executed as a part of the code. It's just there for the developer to know what that specific piece of code is doing. Okay, for example, how you can write the comments is you press control and then the question mark. So it's going to create this kind of something like this. Okay, basically whatever you write here is not going to be executed in the code. It'll just be there to basically help the programmer, help the developer, because whenever you work on a website now, you don't actually work as a single soldier. You basically have a proper team. Okay, so a whole team is developing that project. So a single person is not going to be reading that code. Maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 people are going to be reading that code. So comments are really useful there. So basically they tell what that piece of code after that line is actually going to be doing.
And
Okay.
what did you press to make that
Yeah.
question mark you said?
So you're going to press control, okay, plus question
Okay,
mark.
okay, and it makes like brackets?
Yeah, kind of like bracket. So in HTML it's like this. If you were to go in CSS and press the same button, control and question mark, it's gonna be like this. Okay, so it's different for every language, but the
Okay.
concept is same. Okay, so what do comments do? Like they're not gonna be executed in the code. So what do they do?
It tells it what to do.
No, it doesn't tell it's what to do. It does something else. It basically it's for the reference only. It's only going to tell the developer what that piece of code is doing. It's not going to tell the computer what to do. Okay, it's telling us what
Oh,
that piece
okay.
of code is doing. Okay, so I'm gonna write here, let's say, reorder button creation. Like what we are doing at the moment is we are going to create the reorder button. So I've written this command. You can write whatever you want, it doesn't matter. Okay, whatever language you want to write it in. It's not going to matter. Why is that? Because this command is not going to be executed as a part of the code. It's just there to tell the programmer, to tell the developer what that piece of code is going to do. Okay, so here I'm going to create a button, and I'm going to say button with the class of, let's say, reorder. Okay, so now we have a button that has a class of reorder. And how did I do it? I'm gonna do it again. No, you're gonna do it again. How do I create a button with a class of reorder? How should I write it? Like I'm gonna create a button that is going to have a class of reorder. How would I do it?
Hmm.
Come on, I've
You're
just
going,
done it.
you're going
Control.
to do control
No, no, no. That is going to put the comment.
question mark
No, no, no. What
over.
I want to do is I want to create a button that has a class of reorder. How do I do
So
that?
you're gonna write reorder button.
You swipe the letters, the words. We have to
I
do.
mean,
So we're gonna say
Button
button
reorder.
button
and then
reorder
dot reorder. So this dot is
dot
going to
reorder.
say it
Yeah.
has a class of reorder. Okay, so inside it we're gonna write reorder. Save it. Okay, so now we have this button. That's not what we want. So what should we do in order to have this button to be exactly like this? So what should we do? What are the things, what are the properties we're going to put in this button that is going to make this button look more like this button?
Uh-huh.
It's easy. It's an easy question. The difficult part is going to be after this. So first thing, we've created this button. Okay, now we want to target this button. What was the name of this button? What's the name of
It
this
was
button?
the reorder
Reorder. Yeah, so it was a class. So how do we target it?
button dot
No, no, no. Dot.
dot button.
No, if I were to say dot button.
Dot reorder.
Yeah, good. Dot reorder. If I were to say dot button, so CSS is going to look for a class that is named button. There is no class named button. Okay, button is an element. There is a class named reorder. So what we would do is we're gonna target reorder. Okay. Okay. So what's the first thing we should do in order to make this button look like this and not like this? Like there will be a lot of properties to make it like this, make it like that, not this. So
Make it, make it
So do you have to
capital.
change the color?
yeah, first color. Let's say I'm gonna say background, and this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's more we should do?
The text.
Okay, the text. Okay, I'm gonna say the color is going to be white. Okay. What more?
You gotta make it longer,
Yeah. How
like
do I
in the
make it
middle.
longer?
Capital.
Okay, to capital. So how do we make it capital? What's the property for making it
Mm,
uppercase? You
Oh.
can see it on the screen at the moment.
text transform.
Yeah, good. So we're gonna say text
Yeah,
transform.
uppercase.
Yeah, good. Uppercase. Okay, so there was a suggestion that we have to make it longer. How do we do that? How do we make it longer?
Would that be the width?
Yeah, good. That will be the width. Very good. So width. How much do you think it should be? If you were to look at this button, how much is it? It's around, I guess, 50% of the body of the
Yeah.
parent. Yeah, so we're gonna say 50%. Now 50% of its parent, and the parent of reorder button is the body because it's directly enclosed in the body. Yeah, it's good. What more?
The font weight.
Yeah, the font weight. So we're gonna say font. Okay, there's a question. How do I make this cursor go here without touching the mouse? So if I were to press enter here, it's gonna take the semicolon with it. I wanna go on the next line from this point. What was the shortcut? Go on the next line without taking anything that is after this cursor. So if I were to press let's say only enter here, it's gonna take 0 and percentage with it. I'm gonna go to the next line without taking all of the things that are after this cursor to the next line. How do I do that?
Do we have to use display block?
No, there was a
Was it
shortcut.
Control.
control?
Control
Control
and yes,
Shift Enter.
Control Shift Enter?
it's gonna put a space above. I want it down.
Oh.
I want it below. How do I do it?
Wait, you
Control.
want to bring the 50% down?
No, no, I don't want to bring the 50% down. Look, if I were to press enter now, what would happen? It's gonna take 0 percentage and semicolon with it to the next line. Okay,
Yeah.
if I were to press only enter. What I want to do is I want to go to the next line from this point, from exactly this point. So what was the shortcut? You said Control
Is
Shift
it
Enter. It basically puts a space above. Okay, we don't want that. We want to have a space below this line.
Oh, do you have to use the bracket?
No.
is it Control Shift Backspace?
Control Shift Backspace. No.
Margin top?
No, no, no. This is a shortcut for VS Code. Control and
I need
Enter.
a hint.
Control and Enter. Okay, Control Shift
Oh,
Enter is gonna put a space above.
Uh,
If you want a space down, you're gonna say Control and Enter. Okay, there are like
oh,
hundreds of
control enter.
shortcuts. Okay, you have to, you don't have to memorize them. Your brain's gonna do it for you yourself, but you have to practice a lot. Okay,
But why we couldn't do the bracket
like which bracket?
to bring it down?
When did I teach you about the brackets to make something go down? I haven't. I think I haven't taught you
Didn't you
anything.
teach us the B? No, and the
BR?
gap. BR, yeah.
No, it was HTML. BR is in HTML. So what I wanted from you at the moment was it was not related to HTML or CSS. It's related to VS Code
Oh, yes.
shortcuts.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want to do is let me explain again. What I want to do is at the moment where is my cursor placed? It's between 5 and 0. Yes? So I
Yeah.
want this cursor to be here. Okay, here. So if I were to if I were to press enter here, what would it do is it's going to take 0 percentage and semicolon with it to the next line. Okay, if I were to press only the enter, what I wanted to do is I wanted to be on the next line without taking all of these three with me to the next line. So what was the shortcut to be on the next line from any point on the line? So you press control enter, is going to take you to the next line without breaking anything. Okay, so if you want the same thing but above that line, like if I want to put a space above this, what's the shortcut for that? You have already told
Control
me.
shift enter.
Yeah,
Control
good.
shift enter.
Control shift enter. So it's gonna put a space above. Okay, so if I wanted to have a space below, what's the shortcut?
And what is it?
Control Shift Enter.
It's gonna put a space above for below.
Oh, no, Shift Enter.
No, not shift.
Control enter.
Control enter. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So what more should be there? So you were talking
Had to
about
be in the center.
your font weight. So font weight. First we have to put font weight. Let's say bolder. Okay, it's bolder now. So we want it to be in the center. So what's the property for that?
Margin.
Yeah, good, margin. We're gonna say margin, and then I'm gonna say 2 rem, and then auto. What does this mean? What does this reference to? 2 rem auto. If
टू
I
रैम सम अप एंड डाउन आएगा और ऑटो लेफ्ट
good,
राइट से हो जाएगा.
good, exactly. 2 rem from top and bottom, and left and right from left and right. I want it to be auto. Like I want it to be in the center. Okay, so save it.
can't you
Go-
can't you just write like
Just
10 px and 15 px like the padding?
we can do that. We can do that like this 10 px and 20 px.
Yeah.
But we don't want at the moment. We don't want that. What we want is, for example, we want to have, let's say, 1 RAM from top and bottom, and if we want something to be in the center, what do? We put margin to be auto. Okay, so that's why we've written auto here, because we want the button in the center, but it's not going to work.
Did they change?
टेक्स्ट लाइन जब आपने टेक्स्ट को सेंटर में करना होगा, हमने भी टेक्स्ट को टेक्स्ट लाइन नो, टेक्स्ट जो होता है वो टेक्स्ट के लिए होता है, सोनी फॉर द टेक्स्ट. It's gonna just make this text go in the center or left or right. For example, if I were to say, let's say, जी लेफ्ट बटन पे कर रहा हूँ, ये देखें ना, ये हाँ मतलब आप ऐसे कह रहे हैं कि फर्स्ट वी क्रिएट डिव विद द नेम ऑफ रीऑर्डर और उसके अंदर हम बटन डालें. जी वो इसलिए होगा क्योंकि जब बटन के अंदर आप डिव के अंदर आप बटन प्लेस कर देते हैं ना, सो इट्स गोना बी ट्रीटेड एज टेक्स्ट. वो इनलाइन एलिमेंट जो होता है वो उसको टेक्स्ट ट्रीट करेगा. जी हो जाएगा क्योंकि जब आप किसी डिव के अंदर बटन प्लेस करेंगे, इनलाइन एलिमेंट प्लेस करेंगे, तो वो उसको एज ए टेक्स्ट ट्रीट करेगा. ओके सो लेकिन अभी मुझे इसको लेके आना है विदाउट द टेक्स्ट लाइन. So text line is basically going to align the text. Okay, so like if I were to say left here, it's going to take it to the left. Okay, so how do I make, we've already put the margin to be auto. Why didn't this button align itself in the center? Well, everything's correct. The margin auto is good. It should place it in the center. So why didn't it do, make it this button go in the center? And this is the point that we have already discussed before when we were making Facebook sign up page, login page. Why didn't this button go in the center? There was a certain thing about margin auto, and I've told you that it's not going to work on which type of elements. उल्टा बोल दिया. ब्लॉक पे काम करता है. Yes, it's not going to work on inline elements. Yes, so this reorder button is an inline element, so it's not going to work. So what should we do? Yeah, just write display block. So it's going to change its display from inline to block, so it'll get in the center. Okay, so how did you guys make this button go in the center? Like you guys did this in your assignments. हाँ, लेकिन ये जो है ना, ये ऑप्टिमाइज अप्रोच नहीं है. ये इसको फिर वो फिर उसका टेक्स्ट क्रिएट करा. ऑल्दो ठीक है, सो इट वाज गुड, लेकिन अगेन ऐसे करें इसको जैसे इसका एक प्रॉपर तरीका, ठीक है, ताकि जब कोई और जी 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 जब कोई और कोड रीड करे, सो दिल नो व्हाट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. ओके, so how did you guys apart from Rohil Saab, how did you guys do it? Like I've
I'm
seen
supposed to do like justify content and put it in the center.
you did like that.
I don't know. I have to check my notes again. I don't know. I copy your videos sometimes.
Okay, you it's good to copy, but copy like after understanding what I am currently doing in the video.
No. Usually we can use justify content and we can put a center to center
Yeah,
horizontally.
we can do it, but for that, yeah, good, but for that you have to have a parent for that. Justify content is only
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to work for the parents.
So
Okay,
we can set the parent container.
yeah, exactly. If
to
you have done it,
display flex.
yeah, good, exactly. So if you have done it like that, so it's good. Okay, it's good that
Yeah.
way. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, you can use whatever approaches you want, because programmers do not think alike. Like you would have something better than me. It's gonna work at the end. It's gonna work the same way, but this the concept of this something called space and time complexity. But we're not gonna go into that thing at the moment, because it's like really advanced stuff. So we're gonna go there, but not yet. So every programmer have different approaches to solve the same problem. So it's good. It's totally good. Okay, so what's more we should do? Like we're getting close. So what more should be done to in order to make this button?
Use pattern.
Yeah, good. We're gonna use padding. We'll say padding. Maybe how much? 0.8 rem. Yeah, it's good. What's more? What else should be there?
Make a bold.
It's already bold. I've put the font grid of bolder. It's already really bold. What more? Can you see this ugly looking border here? This black one?
Border and not
Yes, good. We're gonna say border. None. Just one last thing remaining.
font size.
No.
Border radius.
Yeah. Border radius. We're gonna say maybe let's say 5 ps. This is ours. Yeah, this is ours. So you have to create a site in such a way that you wouldn't know the difference between the yeah you should create in such a way that you wouldn't know the difference between the real one and your one. Okay, so now this was the main thing. Okay, this was the crucial part. And first of all, before coding, you have to make the design. And how many of you have created the design first before coding? Have you designed it before coding, or you just started coding? And I guess
No, the design is important to get a picture of in your head.
yeah, no, it's gonna be in your head, but not now. You have to create the design first. Okay.
Yeah. I mean to say like you have to do the design first.
Yeah, exactly. So did you guys do the design first, or did you just start coding?
So designs first.
Yeah, good. So that's good. So let's make the design first. Okay, so what do you see? All of these are part of the same group. All of these are part of the same group. So what should be done? They should be a parent. Okay, because they're part of the same group. So how many divs do you see inside that parent?
5.
No. The first one is for, let me draw it here as well. The first div I drew is for this. So how many do you see?
This.
No. Based upon the space, judge based upon the space. How many divs do you think? Okay, so what was the thing we have discussed about something that is aligned side by side? What were those two things?
Display plus to the
और दूसरा? What were those two things? If you if you see something that is no, if you see something that is side by side,
Different thing.
yeah, exactly. If you see something side by side, it would mean that it had. Wait a minute. Let me give the main container here. Oh, where is that? Okay, so first we have this. Okay, so these are aligned side by side. It would mean two things, and that those two things are, it has a parent, and that parent has a display of flex. So we have this one div, okay, that is containing all of these cards, and then we have this second div. So inside that main container, we only have how many divs? How many divs? No, two. So we have this main one, and we have this one that is containing all of the cards. You didn't get it. You didn't get it. Okay, let me do it again. Okay, first thing, since all of these, like everything is part of the same thing. Okay, they're part of the same group. So what should be done? They all are going to be enclosed inside the same container. So now the question is, how many divs do we have inside this container, this main container? So if you were to judge based upon the space, can you see this space? Is this space greater than this space or not?
It is.
It is. So what does this mean? This space is separating all these two. So what should be done? So based upon this space, how many divs do we have?
There's one. And then there's two.
Two. Yes. So we have two. So one is this one, and the second one is there are a lot of evidences for the second one. Okay. So what are those evidences? So we have this. All of these are aligned side by side. Okay. So there was something we learned about the things that are side by side. There were two things. One thing is that if you see something that is side by side, it would mean that it has a parent. It has a parent div. So all of these are aligned side by side. So they have a parent, and this parent has a display of what? Display of what? Flex. Yeah. So we have this main container, and how many divs do we have inside this main container?
Two.
Two. Yes. So we have this explore section heading, and we have this all of this container that is going to contain our cards. So how many divs inside this second one? Five. Yeah, good. Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because of the space, you can judge based upon the space. Okay, you don't have to even judge based upon the space. You can you can just visualize it that all of these are different. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so second layout is ready. What about this first one? How many divs do we have inside this first one?
Two.
Two. Yeah, good. One is this heading. Heading is also a div. Okay, and the second one is this. What is this? This one. This red underline kind of thing.
Underline.
No. HR. Good. So this is HR. So we have one that is going to contain our heading, and the second one we have this HR.
Wait, what is HR again?
We have discussed about this HR, I guess, in our first and second classes. So HR stands for horizontal rule. So it's basically a line that
To make the horizontal line.
yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So it's gonna extend from left side of the screen to the right side of the screen, like it's gonna put us a line from a horizontal line. Okay, so this is our layout. It's kind of simple if you were to look at it again. If you were to look at maybe like 2 or 3 times, it's gonna visualize, it's gonna be created in your brain. So there would come a time when you wouldn't need to draw all of this. It's gonna be created in your mind by default. Okay. So let's start coding. So let me collapse this one. And how do we collapse this one? You would see little arrows here. Okay, so if you were to, we don't have to do any collapse because it's already collapsed. Okay, so let me put the comment here. How do we put the comment?
Control.
Yeah,
Question mark.
good. Control question mark. So let me name it. What should I name it? We are creating what?
सर वो वेबसाइट में दोबारा देखिएगा सर आप
जी
ये सर इसमें जो बर्गर है इसके अंदर भी तो 3 एग्जाम
जी जी अभी अभी मैं वहाँ पर खुद नहीं आया. अभी वहाँ पर खुद नहीं आया थोड़ा सा.
अच्छा मैंने कहा पता नहीं मैं फिर गलत कर गया
नहीं नहीं नहीं, ठीक ठीक किया. अभी मैं वहाँ पर खुद नहीं आया. पहले हम बाय वाला स्ट्रक्चर बनाएंगे फिर अंदर जाएंगे.
अच्छा चलेंगे फिर ठीक है
ठीक. Okay, so what we are doing, we are creating the, let's say, explore menu section. Okay, so it's not going to be executed, so you can write whatever you want. So what should we name our main div? Like we have to create this main div first. Let me get the pencil. What should we name our main div?
Um,
There's actually a
you.
quote. There's actually a quote about this naming thing. So the quote is from actual a good developer, a really good developer, and that is, okay, the most difficult thing about programming is giving names. So that is the most difficult thing you can have in programming. So what should we name the main thing?
Could it just be main?
We can name it name, but it's not gonna make sense when you have like 3,000 or 4,000 lines. If you were to
Yeah.
debug something to get the errors out,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know
Yes, sir.
where should we start.
Yeah.
Okay, so
एक्सप्लोर मेन्यू रखा था सर मैंने तो वैसे.
explore menu रख सकते हैं. So let's give it a name of explore dash menu. So this would be our main div. So basically this now makes more sense as compared to just naming it name. Okay, because we would have like a lot of more divs, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 more divs. And I meant it literally. You would have 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 divs, so you have to name them accordingly. Okay, so inside this explore menu, this is now done. So how many more divs do we have? We have this top and we have this bottom. So let me name the top one as E heading. So E stands for explore and heading stands for heading. Okay, you can name it again whatever you want. So we have this first div as E heading, which is going to hold our heading, this one. And let's say for the second one, I'm gonna say E cards. Okay, so you just stay with me as okay. If you have any kind of problem, you have to stop me right there and then. So I'm gonna name the second one as E cards. So now we have this main div.
Actually, push that back.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Back.
So this first one is done, and that's called explore menu. And inside the explore menu, we have created two divs. This one is called E heading, and this one is named as E cards. Okay. So let's go inside the E heading, and I'm gonna say, let's say this one. So which heading should we use for this one? Should we use H1 or H2?
So which one?
This one, explore menu.
Yeah.
What should we do? Which heading should we use to write this? H1, H2, H3, H4, which one?
H1.
Yeah, we can use H1, but H1 should be used at the top level. So there's no top level.
H2.
H2.
H2, yeah. Also because it's going to help us in the SEO. So I'm gonna say explore menu. Okay, so we have this explore menu now. Okay, so below this explore menu we have this. What is this? This
The
is
HR.
yeah, good, the
HR.
HR. So where should we write HR? Inside the E heading or outside the E heading? Thank you for answering.
Inside.
Yeah, inside. Why is that? Because both of them are part of the same group. So inside the E heading, we're just gonna say HR, and HR is a self-closing tag, so you don't have to close it. Okay, so now we have this HR. If you can see, there's no margin, so we can actually see. But can you wait? Let me zoom in. So can you see this gray line here?
Yeah.
So this is your HR. So we're gonna style it, and you're gonna see it much better. Okay. So now since it's done, this part is done. So let's move towards this one, and this is called e-cards. Okay, since all of these cards are same, what are we going to do is we are just going to create one and then copy paste all of the others. Okay, so inside the e-cards we're going to create 5 tips, but again we're going to copy paste. We have to only create one. So what should this one be named? What should we name it? The single card. Give me a sensible name.
Burger.
Burger. So there's a lot of more burgers down below as well.
Box
Yeah.
one
Box one,
कार्ड
yeah.
वन भी कर सकते
Card
हैं
one.
सर और एक्सप्लोर
or burger one.
Yeah, we can use burger one, yeah. But give me more sensible names.
या
Like,
राउंड कार्ड वन या एक्सप्लोर कार्ड वन इस तरह कर
this ones
सकते
look
हैं.
good. Explore card. Okay, because this basically complements this one. So it would be much better if you use explore, because we have a lot of sections like bestsellers, top deals, and a lot of sections. Okay, so you have to get up with sensible names. Come up with sensible names. So let's say I'm gonna say explore and then card. Okay, so what do you think? How many? Let me remove this one because it's getting really messy here. So how? What do you think? How many divs is inside this card? How many divs are inside this card?
One.
No,
Three.
three. Yeah, one for the image, one for the heading, and one for this HR.
So
HO.
So one for the image, one for the heading, and one for the HR. HR is also a div, so you don't have to separately create a div. So inside this explore card, we're gonna say now what should we name this one? Well, you don't have to name it. Just write image because image is also a div. And let me copy this. Let me copy this one. This one looks good. Right click, copy image address. Inside the source, we're gonna paste it. And inside the alt. Okay, so there's one more thing. So if you have something that's really long, so your VS Code is going to have this scroll bar, like it's gonna exceed the body, and it's gonna it's gonna be kind of like a hindrance in your coding. So what you can do is you can press alt Z, so it's gonna make your screen toggle. Alt Z, okay, alt and G, like this. So if you have this,
Can't you just do shift and enter, or control enter?
so it's gonna it's gonna what I meant to say is, if you have a link that is long, like really long, you are going to have the scroll bar. Control and enter is only going to put a space on the next line. What we want is we want to break our line from this point, like anything that exceeds this point we want to make it go in the second line. So what's the shortcut? Alt Z, like this.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not going to have this scroll bar which is going to hinder your coding. Okay, save it, and inside the alt I'm going to say that this is explore card image, and let's give it a width of 100%. Why am I doing it? Because Flex is going to arrange them accordingly. Save it. So we have this really big image. It's gonna be aligned perfectly. Just give me a minute. Okay, so after the image we're gonna have what is this? Which heading is this? H2, H3, H4, H5. Which one is this?
H2.
H2 would be big like this. We don't want it like big like this.
H4.
H4, yeah, you can say H4. H4 looks good. So it's gonna say, let's say whatever it's saying, all everyday value. Everyday value. And after this we're gonna have simply an HR. So you don't have to create divs for them separately. Why is that? Because H4 image is also a div. Okay, so now we have this section ready, so it's good. Okay, so what you are going to do is, how many times do you have to copy this card, like explore card? How many more cards do you want?
four.
Yeah, good, 4. So we have to copy it down 4 more times. So how do we copy something?
Control C.
Control C and then Control V. You know, again,
Yeah.
it's a really long process. So there's a shortcut in VS Code, and that is you can copy an entire thing down or up. And what's the shortcut? Shift, Alt, and arrow down. It copies the entire thing down. So now you have to
Can,
control.
can you say that one
Yeah,
more
yeah, yeah,
time?
sure, sure, sure. So first, you have to select whatever you want to copy. So select it. Now, if you want to copy the entire thing down, you're gonna use Shift, Alt, and then arrow down. If you press arrow down, it's gonna copy that line down. If you were to say, let's say, Shift, Alt, arrow up, it's gonna copy that line up. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. So let's say I want to copy this card down. Okay, so how do I copy it? What's the shortcut? Shift, Alt. Okay, Shift plus Alt plus arrow down. It's gonna copy the entire thing down. Okay, so what if I want to copy this exact line up of this div?
Shift Alt
Shift
up.
or good up arrow. It's gonna copy the entire thing upwards. Okay, so what about down? If I want to, if I want to, copy this line down, all of this down.
Shift
Shift,
Alt
Alt,
down.
Arrow down.
down, arrow down. So now we have 5 divs. So one, two, three, four. No, there's something missing. One, two, three, four. Yeah, there's one missing. So I'm gonna copy it again. How do I copy it?
Shift
Shift,
Alt
Alt,
up.
down. Yeah, good. So now we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So it's looking too much to style, but flex is like a magic. The moment you're gonna put flex on its parent, it's gonna align everything perfectly. Okay, so now we have all of this, aligned. The structure is ready. So how do we make these cards align side by side? How do we do it? It's a simple question. We
You
want all of
have to
these.
use display flex
Yeah, good. Display flex. On which element? Where do we use display flex? Where do we have to put display of flex? It's always on the
in the
parent.
pan.
Yeah, good. The parent. And who's the parent? Who's the parent of each card? Of all the cards?
Explore menu.
No, no, no. Explore menu is the parent of everything. Like just the cards part. This div. I'm talking about this div. This one. This one. What was the name of this one? It was
E-card.
E
Yeah.
cards was the parent of all of those cards. Okay, you can see it here that it's starting from this point,
So
and
is the e-card the container, the card?
yeah, 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 good. That was a container, the one
So
holding every
that's where
card.
we would apply the display flex
Yeah, we're just gonna
in
apply
the
the.
container.
Yeah, and what was the name of the container of these cards? E
E-cards.
cards. Yeah, so you have to
Yeah.
target the parent. Okay, for flex, it's always the parent. We're gonna say E cards and just write display flex, and boom, it's aligned perfectly. Just by writing display flex, everything is aligned. Okay. So what's more we should do? Now the problem we have with ours is spanning all of the width of our screen, like it's 100%. But what we want is we want to have decrease the width. So what should be done in order to decrease the width? Like how do we make it smaller? All of the main container. If I were to put pesticide on, you can see that this is spanning all of the 100% of the screen. So
Why
what should we do in order to make it smaller?
do we need to use border radius?
No, water is going to just give the border some roundness. We want to make it smaller. What's the property to make something smaller? You have did this with this one as well.
Width, sir, width.
Width, yes. So we're gonna make all of the main container to get small. So if you make the main container small, everything inside that container is going to get small. So who's the main parent? The parent of each of these elements.
E-cards.
E card is just a parent of this one, this bottom section, the main container, the main player. Who's the main player here?
The explore menu.
Yeah, good. Explore menu. So we're gonna target this because we want to make everything smaller. So you just target the parent. So we're gonna say explore menu, and I'm gonna say width to be, let's say, 70%. Save it, and now it's much smaller. Okay, but we want this to be in the center. What should we do?
Margin.
Yeah, good. We're gonna say margin, and then to be auto. But we want to have margins from top, so what would we do is 2 rem and auto, meaning that 2 rem from top and bottom, and auto from left and right. Auto is going to make them in the center, go in the center. So now we have
I
this.
have a question.
Yeah,
What if you do auto? Is that possible?
yeah, it's totally possible. So basically, when you do this auto only, it would mean auto from all 4 sides. Okay, but if you were to write auto, it would mean the exact same thing, like auto from top and bottom and auto from left and right. It does mean this.
Wouldn't that be easier?
We don't want to do that, for example, look, if you want to write this, it would be better if you write this, because this would refer to the same thing. Like, what is this referring
Yeah.
to? What is this referring to? Auto from top and bottom, and auto from
Mm-hmm.
left and right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically auto from all 4 sides. This is what it's
Mm-hmm.
saying. Okay, so what is this saying? Wait, what is this saying?
From all
Yeah,
around,
exactly. So what is this saying?
from top and okay. This is okay.
Yeah, so it's basically the
I
same.
got it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
but we want to have margin from top and bottom, so what we are going to say is 2 rem from top and bottom, and auto from left and right, because we want it in the center from the x-axis. So now it's in the center. Okay, so now let's change the color of this one. How do we pick this exact color? Color, yeah. So click it, get this color. So we want to have this single card to take up this color. And what was the name of single card? Just one card. What was the name of that single card?
Each part?
No, it's right in front of you. It's not e card, it's explore card. So we're gonna go and say explore card, and explore card is ought to have a background of this. Okay, so it's like whole div has that color, but we wanted to give it to a single card. So why can't we see a single card having that display? It's like all of the div got that same color. So why can
We
we?
have to make sure we're targeting that individual card.
Yeah, we are targeting that individual card. When we say explore card, it basically targets the first
Something
one.
yesterday.
Yeah. So how do we separate them? We have to put what between them,
Space.
and how do we put the space between them? Yeah. What's the property to put space between the children? It started with a G.
Gap.
Gap. Yeah, good. Where do we put the gap?
Between each card.
Yeah, between each card. So where here do we put the gap?
And the icons.
In the e cards. Good. It's always in the parent. We're gonna say gap, and let's say 1 rem. Okay. So now we want to have that spacing, like it's basically touching that HR. We want to have space from the top and bottom. How do we do that? It's yeah. I'm gonna give what?
Okay.
How do I get the space from top? I'm asking all of the things we have already discussed in the previous classes. There's nothing new. What was something that we discussed when you have want to?
Margin top.
Yeah, exactly. Good. We're gonna say what? We're gonna say margin, and let's say 1 rem 0. What does this refers to? What does this mean?
The what? Sorry.
This one. What does this? Yeah, good. Yeah, no, top from top, 1 rem from top and bottom. And what about this?
Left to right?
Yeah, left from we want 0 spacing from left and right, or we want 1 rem of space from top and bottom. So you can simply write margin top as well, but it's only going to do what? It's only going to put the margin from, yeah, it's only going to give it margin from top. It's not going to give the margin from the bottom, but we want to have margin from top and bottom. So we're gonna say 1 rem and 0. But if we don't write 0, what would happen?
It's still going to be the same.
No, it's not gonna do the same.
Or it's not going to target at all.
No, it would target it would target.
So it would be based on the actual value for RAM.
And no, what would this do? Like, what would this do that this wouldn't? Like, first tell me, what does this refers to? What does this mean?
Top and
Yeah.
top and bottom, left and right.
Yeah, good. So top and bottom, we would have a margin of 1 rem, okay,
RAM,
and from left to right we would have the margin of
0.
0. So what does this mean? This 1 rem from all 4 sides.
All 4 sides.
Yeah, okay, so that's a huge difference. Here we are saying we don't want any spacing from left and right, whereas here we are saying we want to have spacing from all 4 sides. Okay, so it's
so the 0 means like no space.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so it would have a space from top and bottom, but there would be no space from left and right. For example, if I were to remove it, now you would have this space. Can you see the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't want any space from left and right. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is we are going to make them like this. How do we make it like this? Okay, so we have to target a single card. So what's the name of single card?
Explore card.
Yeah, good, explore card. So how do we make something round? What's the
Circle.
no?
Whatever.
You have told
Border
me.
radius?
Yeah, good. You have told me like again and again in this project. Border radius. We're gonna say, what if we were to say, let's say 50%? What this is going to do is gonna make it into a circle, into a perfect circle. Okay. So what if we were to do it like this, 50% and 10%? Now this 50% would mean the first diagonal. Okay. 50%. Let me make an image. So we have this. Okay, so this first 50% would refer to these 2 corners. Okay, the first one, and the second parameter would refer to these 2 corners. Okay, does it make any sense?
Yes.
Okay, so wait, if I were to save it, look, we're gonna have a 50% of radius from here, from first diagonal, and a small radius from this diagonal. Okay, so what if we were to do this? What would this
It's going
mean?
to target all the corners.
Yeah, and it's going to target all the colors separately or at the same time?
Same time.
Yeah, it's going to target at the same time, but would it target all of them with the same measurements or different measurements?
Different.
Different, yeah.
Because it's
So
an explore card.
yeah, so what would this mean is 50% from, wait, let me, okay, so this first parameter would refer to this one, the second is this one clockwise, okay, and the third is this one, and then we have the fourth one, that is this one. Okay, does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So now I want you to create me this. What should we do? It's 50% from this one, it's totally round again from this one, so it's going to be 50% again.
It's 50 from all sides except the right side.
Yeah, good, except the right bottom right side. So what should be the dimensions? Like 50, 50, and this is like 3%, and this is again like 50%. Okay, so tell me the dimensions. So 50% from first top left, 50% from top right, 3% maybe from bottom right, and 50% again from bottom left. So you would have something like this. Yeah, it's something like this, but you wouldn't
Yeah,
see.
this is what I was also kind of struggling with when I was making it.
Okay,
But so I would write border radius, and then I would write like 50% for all sides, and just 3% for the bottom.
but your
For the
assignment
bottom
was
left
good.
corner.
Your assignment was, it was close enough. It was good. Okay, so
Yeah, but I'll make it like this.
yeah, but it's totally good for, it's totally a new thing for you, so it's totally normal. Okay, but there won't be any exceptions this time. You have to create like most of the part of this website. Okay, Okay, so it's totally like it's looking good. So what more should be there? Like there's a lot of stuff we need to do in order to make it look exactly like this. So the thing you need to do now is you're gonna make this text, like we have this text, to go in the center. What's the property to make text go in the center? Yeah, good. Where do we put text align? We're gonna put text align in the parent element of the card. So who's the card? Who's the parent? This explore card, because we want everything inside this explore card to be in the center. Okay, because all of these everyday value are inside the explore card. Okay, so we're gonna go inside the explore card and we're gonna say text align in the center. So you would have it in the center. So there is some problem here, and that problem is that this everyday value is getting outside of its parent. We want space from the inside. So what's the property to put space from the inside? Yeah, good. So inside this card, we're gonna go inside this card and we're gonna say I need to have some padding, and maybe let's say 2 rem would be good. Yeah, I think it's good. Or is it too much? I guess. Wait, let me. No, look. This one is like close to the top section, whereas ours is, we have a lot of space here. So maybe decrease the padding. Yeah. Maybe let's say 1 rem. It's, it doesn't look good. So let me. That's a 0.5. No. Okay. So what should we do is let it be 1 rem, but from the top we want it to be less than everything else. So how do we do, only target the top section? How do we do it? Like only target the, no, we want the padding from top to be lesser than all of the other sides. So we want to target just the top padding. What should be the property? Padding, and then
Adding like the top.
yeah, good, padding top. So we want it to be, let's say, 0.2 rem. Yeah, it looks good now. Okay, so next part we want to do is we want to make this HR to be smaller. What should we do? What should we do? So how much time do we have
We
left?
should change the width.
Okay, 6 minutes. Yeah, width, very good. So width of what?
Like something HR.
Yeah, good HR. But we have two HRs, so it's gonna contradict. We have HR, this HR as well, and this RH as well. So how do we get more specific? Like I only want this HR. So what we are going to.
You have to give it a name. You have to give it a name.
Yeah, good. That's a good point. We can give it a name. But if you were to do that, you have to give names to each of these HRs. Like you have to give name at 5 different places. So there's another thing. There's another, shortcut. You're going to say explore card. So it's going to go inside the explore card. Okay. And then you'll put a space here and you'll write HR. What does this mean?
That's inside the HR?
Yeah, good. The HR that is inside the explore card. So if you were to just write HR, what would this mean?
It's going to target all the HR.
Yeah, good. It's going to target all the HR. So when we say that we want HR that is inside the explore card, so it's going to only target the HR that is inside the explore card only. Okay. So we're going to say width, maybe let's say 30% of the parent, that is the card. Yeah, it's good. And we want this to be in the center. What's the property? What's the property for making something go in the center?
Margin.
Yeah, good. We're gonna say margin. Alright. But we
They
want
said the
to.
class is ending in 4 minutes.
It's gonna end in 4 minutes. We have some time. Let's target style this one, and then I can give you the numeric. So I want to have the margin in this case from the top. What should we do?
Margin top.
Yeah,
Padding
good.
top?
No,
Or
no,
margin
margin
top?
top. You were right before. Margin top. Margin top, let's say 0.5.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is, can you do like padding, say padding top?
Yeah, we can do that, but it's gonna do what? It's gonna make space from the inside of the HR. We don't want that. Look, if I were to do this, it's gonna have it like this. It's gonna put space from the inside. Okay, we want it from the outside. Okay, so I guess, okay, so any problem up until this point? Okay, good. So I'm gonna get you the new link. Okay, so let me pause the recording here. Resume the recording.
Hey, reach your mic.
Okay, so my mic's muted. Recording started. Everyone's here. Okay. So where were we? We were talking about HRs. Okay. So now I want to give this HR the color of this the same color that this one's using. So what should be the property for that? I want to have no color is for text color.
Background color.
Yeah, background color. So we're gonna say this, but it's not going to be applied. What do you think? Why is that? Why do you think it didn't apply? Okay, in order to have a background color, you need to have height. Okay, so you would argue that if it doesn't have the height, why do we see it? Okay, so you can argue that, but the problem is that this HR doesn't have the height. It's just the border you're seeing. Okay, the great thing you're seeing here is just the border. Okay, so for example, if I were to say border of none, it's gonna vanish. Okay, so this gray color of HR you're seeing is not the background, it's the border. Okay, so how do we see the color? We can give it a height. So I'm gonna say height, and let's say 2 px would be good. Nice. Too low, so let's say 3 px. Yeah, now it's good. Okay, now we want,
Reach your mic.
sorry.
Nothing, go ahead.
Okay, so now it's good. There's something left like this dot, but we're gonna come back to it later on. First we have to target this one. Okay, so how do we target this one? What was the name of this one? This
H2.
H2, that is inside. What was this H2 inside?
Explore menu.
E heading.
E heading.
Okay, if you were to target explore menu, it's gonna target everything inside the explore menu.
Inside.
Okay, so we're gonna say, no, I'm not gonna say, you're gonna say. What should we say? Like we want to target the H2 that is inside the E heading. What should we do?
Mariam gonna say. Sir, ask Mariam. Mariam to say.
Mariam, please, Miss Mariam, please. How do we target H2 that is inside the E heading?
Inside the explore card, you said?
No, not the inside the explore card. So explore menu was inside the
So
E
you're gonna
heading.
write-
Yeah, yeah.
So you're gonna write explore. Dot
Mm,
explore.
no, explore menu is inside what?
Yeah.
E heading.
Oh, E heading.
So what should I write?
Dot E heading.
The dot E heading.
And
Okay.
we're targeting the what?
H2 that is inside the E
Then we're
heading.
gonna write H2. Then we're gonna write H2.
Like this.
No space.
Yeah, good. Space and then H2 and then curly braces. Very good. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to target E heading, and inside that E heading is going to go inside the H2. Okay, so what should we do with this? What do we want to do with this H2? Come on, now you guys are designers as well, so you have to look at the design as well. So what property should we apply to this in order to make it look like this and not like this? There's only one property you need to do.
Yeah.
Uppercase.
Uppercase then.
Text transform, yeah. Text transform uppercase. I've already told you guys in like first or second class that in our field, speaking up, having a communication, speaking anything matters more than having skills. So when you guys are sitting in an interview, and if you don't know the answer to some questions, you don't just sit quiet. That puts a really bad impression on the interviewer. Even if you
We
don't
will
know.
get better. We promise.
Yeah, I know. Inshallah, you're gonna get better. But what I'm trying to say is, because even if you were, let's say, even because this is my personal experience, even if you were to, be a good developers, there would come a time, there would come a question that you wouldn't know the answer to. Okay, so that at that point, even if you don't know the answer, the main thing that is going to matter is your confidence. Even if you were to give answers with confidence, even if they were wrong, even if they are wrong, it's gonna make a good impression of the interviewer. Okay, because most of the time the interviewers doesn't know a lot of stuff. They have those pre-built questions they're gonna ask you. Okay, so the main thing that is going to matter is your confidence. So speak up, even if it's just if even if you were saying you are even if you're saying is wrong. Okay, you just have to communicate. Just don't be silent. That's the main point. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so okay, now what? Now we're going to target this HR. So what is this HR? Where is this HR? Like we have two HRs inside the explore card and inside e-headings. So we want to target this one, this HR. Where is this HR present?
And the e-card, the
No, no, e-card HR is
E
different.
heading में है sir. E
E-heading,
heading.
e-heading.
e-heading.
So we're gonna say get the HR that is inside e-heading, and how do we see it? How do we see it? Just like we said with HTML.
The
Yeah,
the
good.
e-heading
Good. Dot e-heading, and then
and
space.
HR.
Good. HR.
HR.
So first thing, no, not the first thing. Yeah, the first thing. But I'm not gonna tell you guys. What should we do first? You have to judge now on
Width
your own. Yeah, good. Width.
width sir इसकी width कम करेंगे.
Width. How much should be the width?
Width should be
At the
like
moment, just
20,
100%.
10, 10,
10%. Yeah,
20%,
good.
10, 10%.
10%. No, it's too much again. Make it smaller.
8,
8. Okay.
8 or 5, yeah, sir.
No, it's still big. So maybe 5. Yeah, now it's good. No,
Mm.
now it's too small.
Yes,
7.
yeah, lucky number, yeah.
Okay, good.
6, sir.
6, 6, 6, 6. That's a 6. Yeah, now it's good. Okay, now we
Mm.
want to give it the color of this HRs that we have given below. What was the color of this, and how do we put the color?
Background color?
Yeah, good. Background
Yeah.
color, and this one. Okay, but it's not gonna be applied. Why is that?
Because height it's 0.
Height.
Exactly. But why do we see the this gray color if there's no height?
Adil कह रहा है मैं बताऊंगा sir.
Yes, Azim. Why does this have a gray color when it doesn't have the height?
Um,
And I've already told you like maybe 3 minutes ago.
It might be by default.
And why is it by default? The default also has a default value. So why does this have a gray color?
sir ये border का color है इसका.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, this is the border color. What you're seeing here
Yeah.
is the border color. Okay. So we want to
Mhm.
give it a border of. Where's the R? Border of none.
So you don't use border radius, right?
No, no, no. Border radius is for making something round. Okay.
Round.
Border is
Okay.
that that thick line around the edges.
Okay.
Okay. So how do we see it now? Like we've given the border of 0. How do we see it now? But the first question is why don't we see it?
Because you did border none.
Yeah,
Took it
exactly.
out.
So how do I see it?
If you hover over it,
No.
You're saying how do you see it again?
Yeah, how do I see it again? I don't want to put the border.
The color?
No. Color is for the text color. Like how do you
Height.
see something that doesn't have a like I don't want to say the word, okay? So I want you to say the word.
The line?
No.
how do you see it?
Yeah,
What
how
was
do
the
we
question?
like it doesn't have what? Like it doesn't have that property. So in order to see something it has to have that property.
The height?
Yeah, good. The height.
I said height.
When did you say that?
No, you
I
didn't.
literally
I
just
said
said
it.
height 2 minutes ago.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, it was height. 3px. Okay, it's good. Looking good now.
Wait. How does height appear? Like make something appear?
Okay, so how do we explain it? Wait, let me go back to the paint. So let's say I have this, and just consider it that you are not seeing it. Okay, let's just think
Okay.
that you don't see it. Okay, so how do we see something? Is that if I were to increase it in its height, like if I were to increase its height, do you see it now?
Yeah.
So if I were to decrease its height, it's gonna vanish at one point. It's gonna just vanish.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to
Okay.
see something, you're gonna have the height. So
Okay.
similarly, why do you see these headings? Because when you put something, when you write something inside that heading, you basically increase its height according to the text.
So you expand it.
Yeah, exactly. You are expanding.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're done with this section. Now ask me any questions if you have any. Because the next section you're gonna create it yourself. I'm not gonna write any kind of thing. You have to dictate me everything. So if you have any
This is
questions,
the website you had created, right?
this is the website that.
This one that I see on the screen, you had created this one, right?
Yeah, yeah. Is it? Is this
So
one?
in the previous website, I mean the one you copied, it had like little holes
Yeah, yeah,
in the
exactly.
explore
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
menu.
This one, this
How
one,
do
this
you
one.
add those from
Yeah,
clip
we're gonna do
path?
it. Yeah. So
Okay.
how do you think we are going to do this? First of all, we have to have something that is going to represent these dots. Okay. So where should we go in order to create these dots?
In the explore menu,
No. Be more specific. We're gonna go in
the
the
e
explore menu.
cards.
Yeah, good. E-cards. But inside the e-cards, we're gonna go in the single
Yes.
card. And what was the name of the single card?
E
Explore
cards.
card.
Explore card. Yeah. So inside the explore card, we are going to create a div named dot. Okay. You can name it whatever you want. So we're gonna create the name. We're gonna create the div with the name of dot, and just that's it. Okay. So we're gonna go inside the styles, and I'm gonna say that target that dot. And I'll say the width is going to be, let's say, 20 pixels. Height is also going to be 20 pixels. And let's say for the time being, I'm going to say background color is going to be red. So can you see? I want to make it round. I
Yes.
want to make it round. How do I do that?
You have to use border radius.
Yeah, good. Border radius. And I want to make it a perfect circle. So what should be the value? 50%. Okay, so now the
50.
important question. I want to move this dot according to this card. What should I do? Just like I wanted to move this 0 according to this bucket.
You have to use absolute.
Yeah, good. We have to use positions. Okay. So
Yeah.
who's going to be relative and who's going to be absolute?
The this in the circle
The circle is going to be what?
would be absolute.
Very good, because this is a child, because we want to move this circle according to this card. So the position for this dot is going to be absolute. Good, very good. And what about the relative one? Who would be relative?
The circle.
No. Look, I'm gonna say it again. So I want to
Okay.
move this card according to
The
this
card would
card.
be relative
Yeah, the card would be relative. If you want to move
because
something
yeah.
according to something, so if you so the one that you want to move according to is going to be relative, and the one you want to move is going to be absolute. So in other words, let's be simple. So the parent is going to be relative always, and the child is going to be absolute. Now at the moment, this dot is inside this explore card. So basically, this dot is the child. So this is going to be absolute,
Mm,
and this explore card is going to be relative. So I'm
okay.
gonna go inside the
Parent
explore.
is always relative,
Sorry.
right? You said the parent is always
Yeah,
relative.
exactly. The parent is always relative. Okay, no
Okay.
matter what, it is always going to be relative. Relative. So inside the e card, I'm gonna say position and relative.
And this is the first one, right? The explore card.
No, it's gonna target everything that is named explore card.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
when we said explore card, basically it's going to target all five of them. Okay,
Okay.
because all of them are named explore card. Okay, so how do I make this red dot go here at this point?
Mm,
Like I want this to be at the bottom. So what's the property
You
to
have
make?
so you have to use bottom.
Yeah, good, bottom, and let's say maybe 0. So now it's at the bottom. So now I want it to move here.
Do you
Left
Nope.
or to the right?
Right. Okay, right, let's say 0. But it's too much at the at the corner. So let's say maybe 5 ph from the bottom and 5 ph from the right. So now it's good. So the color should be what? It's not going to be red, it's going to be black. So now we have this. Now we want to do this for every card. Okay, So all you have to do, the dot styling is already there. You just have to, copy this. Let me copy it and go inside each card and simply paste it. Just paste the value. Okay, just paste the dot. You don't have to style it again. Why is that? Because this dot is already styled in CSS. Okay, you don't have to do it again.
So can't you just do Alt Shift down like you told us?
It's just going to copy it, but there is a shortcut. Good that you've mentioned it. Very good. So Shift Alt down is only going to copy it. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to paste it inside every explore card. So there's a new shortcut and it's really handy. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy it. So now I need you to listen really carefully. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to select next explore card. So how do I do it? I simply press Control and D, that is D for dog. Okay, D as in dog. So just press Control D, is gonna select the next instance of that same thing. Now if you can see, I have two cursors here. Can you see?
Yeah.
So I want to select the next E card as well. What should I do?
Control D again.
Control D again, yeah. So it's gonna select the next E card as well, export card as well. Now I want to do it again for the next one. What should I do?
The Control D again.
Good, Control D again. So that's it. I want to select these ones. So at the moment, if you were to see, there's one cursor.
So that just selects them, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't copy them.
Yeah, exactly.
Control C copies them.
Control C copies them, and Control V is going to paste them. But I want to have that dot div in every explore card. Yes. So simply you first have to select them, okay, and then now I want to move to the next line. What should I do?
Control D.
No, it's gonna select the next line. I'm gonna want to move to the
Shift
next
enter?
line. Not shift.
Shift Alt.
No.
Down.
No.
Alt.
No. Not shift
Something
enter.
enter.
Yeah, something enter. What was that something?
Isn't it Alt or Control?
Control enter. Okay, it's gonna go to the next line, and if you were to see here, I have one cursor, two cursors, three cursors, and four cursors. I have four cursors at the moment, and I'm just gonna say Control V. It's gonna paste it to all of those four locations. Okay, so this is a really handy shortcut. So if you were to see, I have now dots at every position. Okay, so there's something else here. If I were to hover upon this, it basically have this really amazing effect. Okay, so how can I achieve this? We've studied about this one. Do you guys remember?
Yeah.
So what was that?
It was.
You have to do the position of it.
No, the thing I'm asking you right now is when I take my cursor on here on this card.
It was hover.
Yeah, good. It was hover. So where am I hovering upon?
The Explore menu.
Nope. This single thing is.
Explore cards.
Yeah, good. Explore
Delete
card.
cards.
The explore card. So I'm gonna say dot explore card, and then what was the next thing?
Hover.
No, not just hover. There was something else before. You need to practice all of the previous stuff we have did in order to get a hang of it.
Yeah.
So it was colons and then hover. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a pseudo class and curly braces. So what do we want to do is we want to make it go up. How do we make something go up? Like this. What's the property? We have discussed about this.
Top.
Nope. Top is going to just go at. Okay, we can use top. Okay, you're right. We can use top. So should we give it a positive or negative?
Negative.
Good, negative. Good, because y is negative in CSS. So I'm gonna say top 20 pixels. So it'll do it. It's gonna do it, but it doesn't look good.
Too fast.
Yeah. So what should we do?
Slow down the speed time.
And how do we do that? There was a yeah, it was something. We have studied about this.
Yeah, I remember. Hold on. Transition.
Transition. Very good.
Yeah.
So where do we put the transition?
On the explore card.
Yeah, good. In the actual element. Very good. So inside the explore card, we're gonna say transition, and how many properties does it take from us?
3.
No. First thing it's gonna take from us is on which property do you want to have a transition upon. We're gonna say all, like I want to have transition on all the elements inside the hover. And the second thing is gonna take the seconds. How much time do you need your animation to complete? I'm gonna say for the time being 3 seconds, but it's not going to work. And why is that? Because transition does not apply to the top right or bottom left properties. It's not possible to apply transition to top right bottom left. So there was another thing we've discussed to move something according to their axis. It was, let me write it again. It was transform and then translate by. Okay, so it was transform, and translate is going to do what? It's going to move that thing according to its own axis. Okay, so y would mean on the y axis only. So I'll say, let's say 20 pixels. So now it's going to do the same thing, but it will be much smoother, but it's too slow. So let's say instead of 3 seconds, I'm going to say 0.5 seconds.
That's better.
Yeah.
It's more smoother.
Yeah. So basically, what we learned here is the transition does not apply to top, right, bottom, left. Okay, you need to remember this. Transition only applies if you want to move something to transform. Okay, it applies to all other things as well, but it's not applied to top, right, bottom, and left. It's not applied on positions. Okay. So let's create this last section, and then we can end our class. Mr. Ali, do you have a class today?
No.
Okay, that's good. So this is the last section we want to create. So it's almost similar to this upper section. So I'm not going to tell you how you can create this one. You have to tell me each and everything on your own. So what should we do? I'm not gonna say a word now.
Can you give us hints?
Nope, I've already given you hints. In fact, I've already coded everything for you here, and this section is like a ditto copy of all of the things we've done above. So okay, I can ask you questions, okay, and those questions are basically hints. So how many divs do we have? You have to start from top to bottom. Think like a programmer. How many divs do we have at the top section? Like all of them?
3.
Nope, all of them are enclosed.
Inside?
Yeah, inside something. So how many divs?
2.
Nope. Before 2 there's also before 2 how many divs do we have? Nope. Before 2 all of these are enclosed in something.
Oh, just 1.
Yeah, good. Just one. Let me kick in clean it up a bit. Okay. So how many divs do we have inside this div?
Inside the box 2.
Very good. 2. Similar to the above section. So we have this top, and then all of these are side by side. So that would mean that they have a container. Okay. Okay. So how many divs do we have inside the first one? Similar to the above one.
2.
2. Good. The top and the bottom. And how many divs do we have in the second one? Do not consider this one as a div, okay, because it will get the difficult.
4.
Yeah, good. 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's create this one as well. How many divs do we have inside the single card?
3.
3 or 4?
4.
4, yeah. So all of these are side by side. It would mean what?
It's a container.
Yeah, good. They are inside the container. And inside the container, how many divs do we have?
3.
3. Good, very good. We have 1. I think it's getting difficult to draw in this little space. Let me, yeah. Okay, so then we have this heading, and then we have this price, and then we have this image. Okay, so does this layout make sense, or should I do it again?
It makes sense.
Okay, good. So let me collapse this one because this gets a little messy here. Okay, so let me add the comment. So now what we are doing is the best sellers. So now we are creating the bestseller section. Okay, what should we name the main thing? The all of the main stuff, like this div, the main div.
Bestsellers.
Yeah, good. Let's name it bestsellers. So I'm gonna say dot best sellers. So how many divs do we have inside the bestseller?
Two.
Two, the top one and the bottom one. So what should we name them? Again, I'm not gonna say a word now. Does it have to be, a specific name, or you can name it whatever you want? Sorry?
It could be any name, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm asking from you. What should I name it? Like, give me any name, whatever you want. You can basically look up to this one as well. Just like this, we can use, instead of e heading, we can use what? Now this is the bestseller, so we can say
Bestsellers cards. So
no,
B heading.
b heading. Yeah, b heading.
Oh.
Okay. So what about this one? The second, we can say just with the e cards, we can call it
E card.
b cards. Yeah. So it's a good practice to be consistent with the names. Just like the above section, we can call the same, the bottom sections same as well.
So when we're actually doing websites, we can make up the names, right?
Yeah, you can make up the names. You can name whatever you want, but again, it would be better if you can be consistent with the names you are using. Okay.
Somehow related to the website.
Yeah, exactly. That would be really good. Okay. Although it wouldn't matter, but it would matter for you when you read the code
Just
again.
so it could be in my thoughts when
Yeah,
I'm aware.
yeah, exactly. Good. Okay, so b heading. So how many divs do we have inside this b heading? We have two.
Two.
So the first one is going to be, let's say, h2, and it's gonna say bestsellers. Okay, did you guys have the exact same website on your side? Because I think it would be different for you.
No.
Yeah, it would be different for you. Is it difficult than this one?
But we just no we well I took the description of yours, but I put the pictures from here.
No, that's
How
not
did
a
you
problem.
find it?
No, how would you find it? That's a good question. You can write kfcpakistan.com.
Yeah, that's what I did. I wrote KFC Pakistan.
Yeah, you can write KFC Pakistan. So is the
Did
one.
you want us to put the exact pictures as you?
No. It doesn't matter about the pictures. The main thing that would matter is the layout. The layout should be the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one you have, is it difficult or is it easier than this? Or is it difficult than this? The one,
Same.
it's the same. Let me search for, what is it called? KFC
Well, the
USA.
layout is different.
But the I thought you said the
The work of it is same.
So layout is different. Is it difficult or
Yeah.
easy?
It's
I,
a different one.
let me search KFC, and is it USA?
Um,
It's just KFC.
yeah.
Well, I have this my access to be denied.
एक्सेस डिनाइड की है सर, देखें जरा ये क्या अमेरिका में ये वेबसाइट भी नहीं खोल सकते हम।
So is this
या
KFC?
निमरा निमरा लिंक लिंक सेंड कर दो ना, आपके पास जो है ना वेबसाइट, उसका लिंक सेंड कर दो सारे को।
So
okay, Abhi. Well, it's like all open. Abhi, send karo.
then
Okay, let me
no
try.
problem. You can share the link later. So is this the one or is it
Let
different?
me see if I could search it.
No,
निमरा ये
you
ओपन
can
हुई
do it
है ना,
later.
देखो ये वाली है, हाँ यही है ना निमरा,
Yeah.
ये सर ने भी ओपन की तो थी ये वाली।
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, that's really ugly, to be honest. And
Hold on, let me see.
well, KFC doesn't design something like this. Like they should spend a bit of money, on websites. लेकिन जो बड़े brands होते
Well,
हैं वो
that's
करते
haram. We
हैं.
don't eat it.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. You shouldn't eat it. You should, boycott all of these really bad stuff.
Yeah.
You don't want to be complacent in something that's okay. Let's not talk about it. Okay. Okay. So inside this B heading, we're gonna have H2 bestsellers, and then this heading, we want this heading, so it'll no, not heading. This, what is this? This underline.
HR.
HR. Yeah. So let's say HR. So now we have this. Okay. Yeah, the first section is done. Let's move towards the next section inside the B cards. So now we want to have this single card. We want to create the single card. What should we name it? Let's say, let's name it seller card. Would it be good? Target the single.
Yeah.
Let's say seller
Yeah.
card. Okay, so we will move towards this section in the later. Okay, we're gonna move towards this later. First, let's make this one. So what is this?
Punch burger.
Yeah, this is crunch burger. Okay, well, what's the element that is being used?
Is the
Heading
Heading which one?
two.
Like I want you to pay close attention. This is to H2, and this is smaller than this one.
H3.
it's
Yeah,
three.
Three.
it should be H3. Okay, you have to consider these small things, small details as well. So we're gonna say crunch and crunch. I guess the spelling is it spelling or right?
Is
CRUNCH.
is 310 rupees a lot for a burger?
I guess it's like $1.50. So is it too
Oh
much?
damn.
It's like
No, over here it's like $10.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. So that's not too much. So this is like $1.50. Wait, let me see
And it's
how much.
halal.
Yeah.
Let me see. It's halal, yeah. So it's like no, not Indian rupees. It's not Indian. I want Pakistani. So it's like 1.1.
Oh my
$1.
god.
Oh my god.
That's too cheap.
That's
What?
exactly
I'll eat
that's
like
too.
10 burgers.
Yeah. So basically, it's like $1.1 here. Okay. So let's say why does it say that we have a wrong spelling here?
Maybe it should be C.
Yeah, it should be C.
Did you?
This is just
Because that's not even how
Yeah.
you spell crunch.
Punch.
yeah. So let it be that way. Let it be that way because it's not it doesn't matter to be honest. Crunch burger. Okay. So then this one, what do you think we should do? This one should be inside separate div. So let's name it price. Okay.
Mm.
So there's something new here. Okay, can you see this RS is basically a bit down as compared to this 310. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a new tag. Okay, so there's a new tag. It's called subscript and superscript. Okay, so if you want to have something a bit down as compared to something else, you write sub. Okay, so sub is going to do what? Sub is going to make that specific thing you write in it to be a little down. Okay, so I'm going to say rs. So this rs is going to be a bit down as compared to everything other. So if you want to do something to be up, okay, so you do what? You put sup or sub. Okay, so this is superscript, and I'm going to write that to 210, and you're going to see. Can you see this rs is a down as compared to 310?
Yeah.
Yeah, so superscript and subscript are going to do basically that. So let me repeat it again. So if you want to have display something beneath something else, what would you do?
Sub.
Subscript.
Subscript, yeah.
Sub.
So rs. And if you want to have something above something else, you use
Sub.
Sub.
sub, yeah, or superscript. Okay, so lastly we have this image. So outside the price we're gonna say img, paste it. Let me write, let's say this is the burger image, and let me put a width of, how much should I put the width to be? Just like we have did before.
50?
No, 100%. Okay, Flex is gonna deal it itself. Images should be placed with a width of, in most cases it should be 100%. Okay, unless you wanna unless there's something else, but most of the cases, most of the time it's gonna be 100%. Okay, now it's done. So how many cards do we need? 1 2 3 4.
Yeah.
We already created this one. I want to copy it as it is 3 more times. How do I do it?
Shift.
Yes, and
Yes. And no, shift off.
yeah, good. Shift
Arrow
alt.
down.
Very good. Shift alt arrow down. But first you have to select what you want to copy. Okay, So I'm going to copy this B card. So I'm going to copy all of this. Make sure you are doing it correctly from this opening div to this closing div. Okay. Select everything here, and we're gonna press Shift Alt arrow down 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now comes a really important question. How do I get all of these to be aligned side by side?
Like
Very good. Display flex, the magic property. So where do I put the flex?
in the body,
Uh-huh.
in the parent,
And who's the parent?
the bestseller, the
Bestseller,
B
the B cards. Yeah, good.
card,
The B cards is the container for all of these images. If I were to put, bestseller is the parent of all of the, the heading and this stuff. Okay, you have to, I want to align all of these cards so they are inside this second container that is named B cards. No, it's not named B cards. I haven't copied it right. Wait. I don't have to copy B cards. I want to copy seller card 3 more times. I want to copy 3 seller cards 3 more times. Okay. So copy it, select it, and copy 3 more times. I guess I 1, 2, 3, 4.
So how do you copy it again?
Wait, let me check. Okay, so you copy it like Control Z. It's gonna undo everything.
Okay.
Okay, it's gonna undo whatever you did. Okay. So again, copy it. Like copy only the seller card, only the card, not the actual parent. So copy it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Save it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna put display flex on the parent. Who's the parent? The B cards is the parent. Copy. Go in the styles and just write B cards. And we're gonna say what? Display of
Flex.
flex. And everything's aligned. Okay, so now we want to make it smaller. Like I want to make it aligned with the upper div. Like it's too big. What should we do?
The width.
Yeah, good. The width. The width of what? Which element should I give the width to?
The B card.
No, I want to make everything smaller.
The parent.
Yeah, and who's the parent?
The bestseller.
Yeah, good. The bestseller. I'm gonna copy it. I'll cut it. Copy it. I'm gonna target the bestseller. I'm gonna say the width. How much should be the width? Like, what was the width of the above section? Do you guys know?
100.
No, it was
70.
70%. So we are going to say 70%. Okay, small. I want to go. I want to make it go in the center.
Like
Yeah, good. But I want to have margin from top and bottom. So how should I write it? I want it to be auto from left and right only, but I want to have a margin of 2 rems from top and bottom.
2 ranks.
Very good, very good. 2 rem, sorry, not 3. 2 and auto. Yeah. Did you guys get it, or should I repeat?
I got it.
Okay, good. Because you have to create this all of this website on your own. Okay, so that's why I'm asking again. Did you guys get it, or should I do it again? Like I'm just
Now
gonna.
we got it.
Okay, good. I'm just gonna create this section. All of the other sections are your homework, and you have to do it on your own. And don't ask AI at the moment. Okay, you're gonna use AI, but not yet.
Yeah, you
Okay.
it mostly kind of repeats, even the other
Exactly.
section.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
just need to like it's just the same pattern, just different things inside the
Exactly, exactly.
boxes.
Very good, Katniss
Yeah.
Imran. That's exactly it. So basically, if you were to pay a little close attention, this section is
Mm-hmm.
almost similar to this section. Okay,
Yeah.
this nothing new. All of these things are same. Okay, so save it, and now we have this. Okay, great. Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to have this background color. We want to give this background color to these cards, like the same background color, this one. So how should we copy it?
Colorzilla.
Yeah, good. Carzilla. And copy it. And what was the name of this single thing?
Mm,
No, it wasn't B card. It was,
seller cards.
yeah, good. Seller card. Okay, no cards. You're gonna say seller and card. I'm gonna put background. This. Okay, we're gonna have background, but they are basically joined together. How do we separate them?
Gap.
Yeah, very good. And where do we put the gap? Oh,
bestseller.
yeah. No, no. Who's the
And
parent?
the B
Yeah,
cards?
B cards. Yeah. I'm gonna say gap to rem. The above one wasn't 2 rem. I guess the above one was 1 rem. Yeah. Okay. So now I want to have, a little space. It's basically sticked up to this HR. I want to have some space from the top and bottom. What should I do? I'm not telling you now. No. Padding is going to put the space from the inside.
Oh, margin.
Yeah, good. The margin. I want margin for this second container. What was the name of the second container? It was B cards. So I'm going to say margin 2 rem 0. What does this 2 rem 0 would refer to? We have already discussed about this.
It wouldn't be the four sides.
Yeah, it would be how many sides?
Just two, top and bottom.
Yeah, good.
Top and bottom.
And what if I were to remove this?
Just the top.
Mm-hmm.
This will be top and bottom.
Mm-hmm. This would be just top and bottom. What would this be?
All four sides.
Yeah, all 4 sides. Yeah. Okay, good. Everything's looking good, kind of good. So, what should we do next? Yeah, let's do this price one. Okay. So first thing we want to do is we want to give this background color to this price div. Okay, this one, all of this. What was this named? It was named, I guess, price. Okay, so we want to target the price. We want to say price, and then how should we put the red color in the background?
Background color.
Yeah, good. So we're going to say background color, and then this one, and we have this. Okay, so what's the problem here?
It's the whole.
Yeah, exactly. So how do we make it small?
The height.
Nope.
The width.
The width. Yeah, good. We're gonna say width. So I'm gonna say maybe let's say 30% of the parent. Yeah, it's kind of good. Okay, so next thing I want is I want to make this text go on the right side. How do we make this text go on the right
Have
side?
we use text align?
Yeah, good. We want to use text align, and text align in the where?
The right.
Yeah, good. Text align in the right. Okay, great. Okay, now the main part. Now it's although the concept is same, but it will be a different thing. Okay, so now I want to make this red thing go all the way to the right. Now all of the element, I want to move all of the elements. So how do we move the elements? Like what if I want to make this red part go in the center? What should I do? I would say
Is
what?
that text align still?
No. It's gonna say margin auto. Okay, so it's gonna make it go in the center. But I don't want this. What I want is I want to make this red part go all the way to the right. Okay, so first thing you need to do is what this margin auto is going to do is gonna give equal spaces to left and right sides. Okay, if it doesn't make any sense, the margin auto is going to make equal spaces to the right and left side. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I want to do is I want to make the left side of this element to take up all the space. So how can I do that? I can say margin left auto. So what would it do is it's going to give left side all of the spacing that is present. So it's going to take everything and give it to the left side. So what would happen if I were to say margin right auto? What would happen?
It'll push it to the right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna push it to the not
Left.
right, left. Yeah, so it's gonna give every all of the space to the right side. Okay, so it's gonna push it to the left side. But if I were to say margin auto, what would happen?
And the center.
Yeah, it's going to give equal spaces to the right and left, so it's going to basically take it to the center. So what would happen if I were to give, let's say if I were to say margin left auto, what it's going to do is it's going to take all the space and give it to the left side. So it's going to go in the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next
So
thing I
with the margin left auto, it pushes everything to the left side, or
right side, right
right,
side,
the left.
right side. So margin left is going to give all the space to the left. Okay, think like
Also,
this.
so margin left auto, it's gonna push everything to the right side.
Yeah, and what would happen if I were to
Meaning, meaning like the you say margin left, meaning not like the red symbol. You mean all the space on the left side,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly, exactly. Like all of the
Okay.
give all the space to the left. If I were to say like margin right, it would mean give all the space to the right. So if you were to give all the space to the right, where would the element be?
On the left.
Or the
The
left.
left.
Similarly, if you were to say margin left auto, it's gonna give all the space to the left, so it's gonna
And
push
goes to the
element
right.
to the right. Okay. So these concepts are really amazing, but you have to practice a lot. This concept is like really good, but you have to practice is the key. Okay. So now I want to make
Mm.
it like this. How do I make it like this?
Oh, that the
Bootstrap.
Nope.
the
Clippy.
Clippy, yeah, the
Yeah.
app.
Clippy, clippy. Mr. Adil was close, but it wasn't coming. Yeah, it was there.
Side.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I want, but let me change it because this isn't how I want it. So let me do it. No, no, this isn't it. I guess it's this one. Yeah, this one. So let me do it like this, and this is it. Huh? Yeah, is
Think
it?
so.
Is it in the middle?
Yeah. Oh no.
Wait,
There
looks
you
like in
go.
the middle.
That was good.
Yeah. Okay, so let me copy it and let me go in the price div and simply paste it. And now we should have, yeah, it looks good. Okay, but I want it to be bold. This, all of this. So what's the property?
That's
Yeah,
Wait.
font weight to be, let's say, bolder. Yeah, now it's focused. Now it looks good. So now we're left with these three. Okay, so what would you do is you're gonna go inside the B card, no, not the B card, seller card, and you are going to create, since all of these are side by side, so that would mean that we have a parent.
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 So we're gonna create a parent. Let's name it red dots. Okay, red dots, and inside the red dot we are going to create three more divs, and we should not name it as dot. Why is that? Why do you think we shouldn't name it dot?
Yeah, it's gonna
We put
it's
red
gonna
dots already.
Nope.
it's gonna target every dot.
Mm.
Nope. Why shouldn't we name it dot?
It shouldn't be the same as the parent.
Nope. There's something else.
Mm,
If I were to name it dot, is there something else that is named dot in our website?
Yes.
Yeah, so what would happen is it's gonna take all of the styling of that thing, that previous dot, and it's gonna apply it to this dot. So it's gonna have the same styling. We don't want that. We want it to have a different styling. Okay, so what would happen is if I were to open it, can you see this dot? So this dot is
yeah.
styled like differently. Okay, and we want this to be styled differently. So if you were to give it a class of dot, it's gonna have the same styling as the previous one. We don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna name it red dot. Okay, so don't confuse these red dots with red dot. Red dots is the parent and red dot is the child. So let me remove this, and let's say I'm gonna say red scare. Okay, so how many times do I need it?
Three.
Three. So it's already one, so I'm gonna copy it
Two.
down. So how do you copy it down?
Control.
No.
No, shift.
Shift
Alt and
Alt
arrow down.
arrow down. Okay, save it. Now we have nothing. Why is that? We have nothing. Like, we have created the red dots and then we've given red scare everything. So why don't we see anything?
The height.
Yeah, good. The height. Very good. So first of all, we're gonna target the squares. I'm gonna target red square, and I'll give it a width of. Let's say if you were to see here, the width is smaller as compared to the height. Like it's the height is more, yeah, or is it same? What do you think? Let me zoom it a bit. So is width and height same or different?
Different.
Different, yeah. Height is more as compared to the width. So I'm gonna say width is, let's say, 15 pixels, and height is 20 pixels, and background color is this. So you would now see. Why aren't you seeing it?
Because you wrote red instead of red.
I wrote what?
You spelled red wrong.
Ah, yeah, good. It should be red. So now we see these. Okay, so I want them side by side. What should I do?
This one.
Um, so display no
Yeah, yeah, sir, you're right, you're right.
display flex.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, good. Display flex on what?
On the red
The
square.
red
Nope,
square.
red kid is a child.
Oh, on the parent.
Yeah, and who's the parent?
Red dot.
Yeah, red dots. So we're gonna say dot red dots and display of, like everything in a website is a flex. If you were to get the main concepts of flex, you can create any kind of website, whatever you desire. The flex is that kind of magic. Okay, now they're
Mm,
side by side, but I want to have some space between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
um,
Inside the same parent, we're gonna say gap, and let's say 0.4 RAM. It's too much, I guess. We're gonna decrease it a bit. Yeah, looks good. So I want these red dots to be in the center on the x-axis. Nope, 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 nope. They,
Margin.
nope, they're inside the flex
Right?
parent.
Oh, okay.
So how do we move something on the x-axis in flex?
Or just to
Yeah,
justify.
yeah. Justify
What content?
content and then
Yeah. Center.
send. Yeah. But there should be something that you should be asking me, because almost all of my students have asked me these questions, and that is, what is the difference between justify content and margin? Like you should have asked me this question. So that's why now I am asking you, what's the difference between justify content and margin auto?
Margin auto does everything in the middle and justify content just the x-axis.
That's the same thing. Margin
no,
auto
no.
also.
It's just margin
What
auto
is
puts everything in the middle outside the
Exactly. Very
outside the
good.
child.
Very good. Very good point.
oh,
Margin auto is applied outside outside of something outside of element. Okay, margin auto is applied outside the element, whereas justify content is applied on the inside of the element. Like justify content is for the children. Okay, and margin auto is for the parent. Okay, what I meant is, wait, let me visualize it for you, because it's a really important concept. So let's say this is the body. Okay, so this is the body, and let's say this is the parent. So if I want to move the parent in the center, what should I do? Justify content or margin auto?
margin.
Yeah, we're going to use margin. It's going to put the parent in the center. But if we want to, align something that is inside the parent, it shouldn't
The
have the margin of
children. Yeah.
auto. It's going to be
That's going to be
just,
justified.
yeah, exactly, good. So margin is for outside of the element. Okay, and justify content is for the children that are inside the parent.
So
Okay,
basically, margin is used on individual
exactly, yeah, good. Good.
elements.
So margins are for individual elements, and justify content is for all of the flex children that are inside the flex parent.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we've done this, so we can simply copy it and give it to all of the others as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy these red dots. Okay. So what I want to do is at the moment is I'll select this seller card. Now I want to select the next seller card. How do I do it?
Control Z.
No, not Z.
Z Z
No, no, not Z. Z
zebra.
as zebra? As in zebra?
Yeah.
No, not Z. There's something else. Control
Yeah. Alt
D. D as
or
in dog.
D.
Okay? Okay, now all of these Three are selected. So we
Wait,
want. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you. I have a question.
yeah.
You said what was the D for?
Okay. The D is for selecting the next instance of that element. For example, I want to see where this next seller card is being used. I want to select that. So first I'm going to do
Oh,
what? I'm going to select it. Okay. Now I want to see
okay.
where this next where this exact word is being used next.
Oh, okay, okay.
So how can you
You
do
see
it?
if there's more than one.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to
Okay.
say Control D. It's going to select the previous one and the next one.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
okay. I
so
see
I
that.
want to
Thank
select the
you.
next one as well. So what should I do?
Same thing, like
Same thing, yeah,
Control
Control.
D.
Yeah, good. Now all three of these are selected. So now I want to move to the next line. What's the shortcut?
Control Shift.
No. Control.
Oh, Control Alt.
No. Control
Oh
C.
no, Control V.
No.
Wait, you want to select?
I think I
You want to go
went
to the next line?
Yeah, yeah, next line.
Control
Shift down.
No.
Enter.
Yeah,
Enter.
enter. Control
Enter.
enter. Okay, so now my cursor is present at three different locations. I've already copied this one, this red dots. So I'm just going to press Control V. It's going to copy it to all of these three locations. So save it.
Does it do it at once, or do you have to click it 3 times?
No, you just have to click it once.
And okay, because you already selected the lines,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, exactly. So my
Okay.
cursor was present at three different locations at the same time.
All right.
Okay, so now I have all of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to do the last thing that remains is I want to have this line to be smaller.
The class will end in 3 minutes. I just
Yeah, I guess our class is also going to be end in 3 minutes. We only need
Yeah.
3 minutes.
You have to do the height.
Yeah. Well, first I have to target something. What is this?
Uh,
Target the HR.
HR, that is inside the best sellers. So I'm going to say best
that's
seller and then space HR. I'm going to decrease the width to be, let's say, 6% because it was 6% before. Yeah, it's good. I'm going to remove the border because what you're seeing now is the border,
Golden.
and then I'm going
yeah.
to give it a height of, let's say, 3 pixels, but you will still wouldn't see it because we haven't given it a background. What it should
Background.
be this. So this is your website. Okay,
Yeah.
so for the homework you have to create all of this, like all of it,
To the bottom.
to
is
the
this the
bottom.
Pakistan one?
Yeah, the Pakistani one.
You want us to do the Pakistani one?
Yeah, the Pakistani one because this is a little bit difficult as compared to the US one.
All right.
Okay, so
The
you,
US one is easy.
yeah, so you have to create this Pakistani one again. It's not mandatory. Okay, it's not mandatory that you complete it exactly as it is. Okay, you have to
Mm.
try it at least. Okay, you need to give it a
Okay.
try. So that's it. So basically these
All right.
sections that we have completed in the class, you are left with only 1, 2, and 3 sections. That's it.
All right.
Okay, so any questions?
No.
No.
Okay, so
Um,
thank you. We're gonna meet inshallah next week. Okay, so till then,
Inshallah.
enjoy the coding. Okay,
Allah
enjoy the
Hafiz.
website. Allah Hafiz.
Mm.
Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.